friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction being yo 363. Day in the neighborhood. My brothers and sisters. So I'm at work, right, y'all? I'm at work earlier today. And I'm pulling down a pallet off a stack of pallets. But in the middle of me pulling down this pallet, another pallet fall down and hit me dead in the middle of my forehead, y'all. Like, that's why I got this little scar, this little boo-boo, or whatever may have you. But I'm just like, damn, man, now I gotta walk around and be in people's faces. You know what I'm saying? People seeing me, and right in the middle of my forehead, I got a freaking accident or whatever, man. But I digress. Hope y'all doing excellent out there today, and I'm glad that you came on back to the channel once again to fuck with the bean. And we going to a channel, y'all, that we ain't been to in over a month. But long story short, short story long, the reason we ain't been to this channel in over a month is because YouTube had took his channel down. Dun, dun, dun. You know what I'm saying? They took his channel down because they said some of his videos violated their terms of services or something. You know what I'm saying? Something crazy like that. And for a while, it was looking like his channel was not going to come back. But just him fighting against it, you know what I'm saying? And all his subscribers, all his hundreds of thousands of subscribers supporting him and reporting and helping him out. And he got his channel back. And I'm so happy he did. And that man that I'm talking about is Kyle from Dire Trip. Back to Dire Trip, y'all. And this is one of them videos that I love from him. I love when he do these type of videos. And the title of it is, she threw her baby in a trash compactor. 8 dark and bizarre stories. I love when he do them 8 dark and bizarre stories, man. I love when he covers, you know what I'm saying, multiple stories in one video. But just the first part of the title, threw her baby in a trash compactor. I mean, it's just so sad how some kids get born to parents that should have never birthed them. You know what I'm saying? Like, parents who should have never been parents. It's just so sad that that's the reality that we live in. But we finna go and get into this video, my brothers and sisters. But before we get into it, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you may need. Get what you need. We back to Dire Trip for another one. Y'all got what y'all need? Y'all ready to go? Then let's fucking go.
Hey there everybody, you know what time it is. It's time for another Strange and Bizarre Cases compilation. I think you all know the drill by now, so let's just get right into it.
Yep.
First off here, we have teen mom who tossed live newborn in trash compactor now facing capital murder charge. So as that says, there's an 18-year-old woman who's facing some serious jail time in Alabama after police say she threw her baby into a trash compactor. On August 13th, Jakayla Williams gave birth at her home without telling any of her friends or family. Once she did, she took the baby out to the Southeast Health Medical Center, which was the hospital closest to her, and left it there. Having a kid is something that's fairly hard to hide, so it wasn't too long before her parents found out that she had given birth. Surprisingly, they didn't even know she was pregnant beforehand. It's pretty telling that immediately the family was concerned for the well-being of the baby and wanted to take it into their care. Jakayla went back to the hospital about a month later with a family member in order to reclaim the baby. Hospital staff called the police once they arrived as they were very confused. They didn't remember anyone ever leaving a child with them. That's something they would have likely remembered. Once police went over the security camera footage, they never were able to prove that Jacayla even went to the hospital in the first place. Staff at Southeast Health have said that if she actually would have taken the baby to the hospital, they would have accepted it with no questions asked.
This motherfucker lied to her damn family about even taking the baby to the hospital. She took it to the hospital, alright. Took it to the... I don't even want to say where she took it. But y'all know where she took it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking the story is gonna go, she took the baby to the hospital, but then they came and got the baby back. Then she ended up doing what she did to the baby. But no, I'm trying to find out the whole time there was never a hospital visit. Wow.
Everything was getting more and more suspicious. In reality, after giving birth, Jacayla had exited her apartment and went over to the dumpster. She wrapped her baby in a fitted sheet, placed it into a duffel bag, zipped it up, and then tossed it in. This particular dumpster had a built-in trash compactor that went off every once in a while, so it was inevitable what was going to happen. Jacayla...
I didn't even think about that part, y'all. Like, I didn't think about, like, trash compactor, like, this month is gonna have her baby get crushed. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to throw them in the trash can, but it's another thing to know that this trash compactor gonna end up crushing this little newborn baby. And it's yours. Oh man, we starting off hot with this one.
When confronted by the police, said to the investigators that she simply didn't want to be a mother at such a young age and that having a baby would, in her own words, cost too much money. The body of the baby was found in a landfill, spotted inside a load of garbage. Upon speaking to reporters, despite being a 27-year-old veteran on the force, the local police chief got a bit emotional, saying, "In all my years of law enforcement, I've never heard of anything so horrific as this. It shocks the mind, it shocks the soul. I don't even know what else to say about it." Jacayla is now being held at the Dalton County Jail. She wasn't given any bail. Some people have come out and said that the abortion bans in Alabama were what led to this case, but it never has been proven whether or not Jacayla actually wanted to terminate the pregnancy and just wasn't able to. So it may have been a factor, or may not have been. Jacayla may very well end up facing the death penalty for what she did, but it's up to the prosecutors whether or not they want to go down that path. But Alabama is known for sentencing more people to death than any other US state, and people don't take too kindly to the killing of infants.
That shit's just crazy, man, and her excuse make it even worse. She killed a baby because babies cost too much money. Bitch, well, all you gotta do is just give the baby up for adoption. I hate when parents use that excuse like, oh, I couldn't take care of it. You ain't gotta take care of it. Give it to somebody who will. Oh my God, man. Yeah, she deserved a death penalty. She committed murder, and at the least she need life in prison. Point blank period.
Now, man sentenced to 45 years in prison for killing former classmate whose remains were burned over some marijuana and a couple $100. At Cypress Lakes High School, two boys became friends, Jose Varela and Zuhair Kaleem. They remained pretty good friends after high school. Zuhair was now a Lone Star College student and had plans to go on to the University of Houston. However, he wasn't so squeaky clean. Zuhair would periodically go over to Jose's house to buy some weed. April 27th, 2019. This all went bad one day when Zuhair arrived at Jose's house and went into the garage to make a deal. Another man was there, Eric Aguilar, who closed the garage and began negotiations. The negotiations evidently didn't go over too well. While we can't know exactly what happened, the deal ended up with Zuhair Kaleem being shot dead. Despite being good friends, Jose had just killed Zuhair over a little bit of weed and $100. Jose and Eric then took Zuhair's body out to Grimes County and burned it. Then they took his car all the way out to Mexico and abandoned it. It wasn't too long before Zuhair's family filed a missing persons report. They weren't used to him ever being gone this long without contacting them. His father said, "It's just like, what happened really though? We know where he's going to, a friend, where he's going to eat, where he's going to visit a place. It's just unusual for him to be gone that long." Zuhair's brothers decided to take matters into their own hands and look for their brother. They were able to at least get onto the computer and find out who Zuhair had last spoken to before disappearing. This, of course, led them to Jose, but at the moment there wasn't really anything they could do with that information. This was until 1 year later. This was when Zuhair's burned body was found in a shallow grave. As it was before, everything came back to Jose. The now 24-year-old man was arrested. A few years passed, and just recently he pled guilty to the murder charges and was sentenced to 45 years in prison. The district attorney said, "This was a premeditated murder that left a family questioning what happened to their loved one for more than a year. With help from the victim's family and great police work, we were able to get justice in this horrible case." Then Eric was sentenced to life in prison without parole as well. It seems that one other man was involved in some way, Austin Walker. His trial is still pending. Yet one more guy, the man who owned the property where the remains were found, admitted to helping bury the body. He was charged with tampering as well. The Kaleem family has set up a fundraiser in Zuhair's name, one that would build a water filtration plant in Pakistan so that he can continually help people in need from the other side. Link to that in the description if you're interested. Here we
R.I.P. to Zuhair, man. And I think it's more to that. I don't think it was just over some weed and $100. It seemed like Zuhair was involved with these three other dudes, and some kind of way it was set up to kill him for some reason. I don't know, man. It could have been over that little petty weed and that little couple of dollars, but I think it was something a little more with that one.
We've got teenage girl and adult suspect who sparked Amber Alert are now both charged with murdering a young man. Here we have a weird case where a missing girl who originally triggered an Amber Alert was eventually charged with murder along with another young man. Natalie Navarro, a 17-year-old girl, went missing. She was last seen on Wood Meadow Parkway in Dallas. After nobody heard from her for a while, she was officially reported missing. This triggered that original Amber Alert that got people scrambling to find her. The police said that a young man, 21-year-old Yordi Jordi Martinez, the actual name, was the main suspect in her disappearance. However, the angle of this case would soon change dramatically. One day later, the police announced that Natalie was both fine and had been taken into police custody. What seemed like happy news at first definitely turned out not to be. Natalie and Yordi had both been linked to the murder of a young man, Arturo Pena.
Wow.
This all came about when the police in Garland were called out to the Audubon Park area after getting a call about a man passed out inside a vehicle. Once the cops arrived, they found that he wasn't merely unconscious, he had been shot. They soon discovered his identity, realizing that he was also yet another missing person who had been reported recently. The police haven't said exactly how they found out Natalie and Yordi were behind this, but they seem fairly certain. What they aren't certain about is who exactly pulled the trigger. They aren't even sure on the motive or how exactly they all came to know each other. The police said, "The reason why this happened, we've yet to totally determine that. We hope to get more when we talk to Natalie and see exactly what was going on, if these persons knew each other, if they had a relationship, if there was a falling out." While Natalie has been taken in, Yordi Jordi managed to escape. Now the police fear that he might have even fled to Mexico. It turns out that he has quite the rap sheet, including a felony indictment for firing a gun into someone's house in Garland last year. The police are still looking for him. They describe him as having black hair, brown eyes, weighing 120 pounds, being 5'7" inches. It's also notable that he's missing one of his front teeth. I guess we'll have to see where this case goes.
I hope they goddamn find Yordi, man. But it's crazy how Natalie end up. I see why she ended up missing. Because her ass and fucking involved in a murder. You know what I'm saying? And rest in peace to the person who got murdered too. But that one right there got me feeling like it's a little like, why did y'all do this? It's more to this case too. There's more to that one too.
And now, Florida man injected opioid chemical agent under family's door. Come on guys, you had to have known this was coming. I mean, it's an absolute tradition at this point. So here I am with the essential Florida man case. This all started when a family, Umar Abdullah and his pregnant wife, moved into a new condominium. They met all their neighbors and soon enough their daughter was born. Everything was going great, an American dream, everyone happy. That was until it all hit the fan. The family's downstairs neighbor, a man named Shuming Lee, was texting Umar and complaining about the noise upstairs. In the text, he said that he couldn't sleep, strangely remarking that he, quote, could hear the toilet seat being moved. After a few months of this annoying and weird texting, both Umar and his wife started getting sick of it, both figuratively and literally. They started feeling groggy, queasy, and were even vomiting from time to time. It was a sickness that they just couldn't seem to shake off. Umar said about his baby daughter, "I look at my daughter, her eyes full of tears. She was not crying, but her eyes were full of tears." Umar had a family friend over one day to take care of the place while the family went on a trip. This friend said that she could smell chemicals as soon as she entered the home to bring in a package. She said it smelled somewhat like nail polish remover. It was likely that the Abdullah family had gradually gotten used to the smell. However, once they came back from vacation, they noticed it too. Not quite knowing what was going on, Umar called an air conditioning repair place, but they said nothing was wrong. He tried the water heater, but that was fine as well. It had actually just been replaced. They checked the vents, the air ducts, everything. They even called the fire department and they couldn't find anything wrong. Umar was at his wit's end. He, in his own words, started sniffing the place like a dog, trying to find out what was going on. All ideas exhausted, Umar began to remember his annoying dick of a downstairs neighbor. Seeing a little crack in the frame of his door that he noticed someone might be able to leak chemicals into, he decided to place a hidden camera outside. Umar said, even during war, the worst enemies do not attack the opponent, the other party, with chemicals, furious that his daughter was sick all over again. He went to check the camera and see what was going on. There he saw Zhu Ming crouching in front of the door, but it was unclear what he was actually doing, so Umar adjusted the angle just a little bit. The next time he caught it on tape, Zhu Ming was sticking a syringe into a crack in the door frame. The family got out of there and called the police. Zhu Ming Li was arrested and charged with an array of felonies, like possession of a controlled substance and burglary. A test found that the chemicals consisted of methadone and hydrocodone, opioids. Zhu Ming was a chemistry student but had quit school, so this added up. Zhu Ming has pled not guilty to all the charges. The Abdullah family is back to being happy, celebrating their daughter's first birthday. They definitely plan to look for a new condo, though.
That motherfucker said he not guilty. Bro, they got you on camera, bro. They caught you, bro. HD, 4K. They got you, bro. 1080p. They caught you, bro. Like, what are you talking about, man? But, and then the yell, like Kyle said, the story add up, dude. You used to go to school for this shit. But I'm just stuck on, why are you doing this in the first place? Like, why? This is some crazy shit, man. You sneaking up and spraying chemicals into somebody's house? Like, man, people do some weird ass shit, man. That shit just weird, y'all. But let's keep going.
This one is, man allegedly shot and killed woman he loved, hid her body in attic, and planned to move remains in rental car because it was emitting foul smell. Here we have a very unique looking gentleman in Las Vegas who is facing some very serious charges related to murder. This is James Gino III, a very tatted up 50-year-old man. James and his girlfriend, who has remained unnamed, apparently got into quite the argument. That's putting it a little bit lightly. This was a very large argument. James was destined to be a pretty bad partner. He had a criminal record showing instances of battery, domestic violence with serious bodily harm, possession of a stolen vehicle, battery causing substantial harm, coercion, and owning or operating premises on which illegally obtained motor vehicles are altered, destroyed, disassembled, reassembled, or stored for certain purposes. Quite a list. He was also known to have a terrible temper and a pretty gnarly crystal meth habit. A witness...
Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to stop it because I can't, every time I see his face, I can't get over it. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Look, just look at his face, man. Are you fucking kidding me, man? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro? This is the face of somebody who know that they ain't gonna never, like, be shit in life. I'm just gonna go on and say it, man. You can't have no goals and aspirations in life to put them damn tattoos on your face like that. Where in the hell you think that shit right there gonna take you? But he already got a whole laundry list of fucked up shit he been doing. Like, he know his life over. He just doing crazy shit. But I cannot get over the face. The man got tattoo glasses on. Bifocals.
Who apparently lived with the couple heard the two arguing and decided to leave the home to go out and gamble a little. During this argument, James' mother even stepped in and tried to calm the two down. It didn't work, as he even threatened to shoot her. Then James snapped and shot his girlfriend at least 12 times.
Damn.
The witness came back to the home a few hours later only to find the girlfriend lying naked on the floor, bullet holes all over her chest. The witness then bailed out of the home only to return the next day. "I killed the woman I loved," James told him bluntly. James then threw her body into the attic. A few days later, James decided to move the body out into a rental car he was using because it was really starting to stink up the house. Then he couldn't even use the car because of the smell. It seems that he didn't really think his plans through, and it's kind of unclear what his endgame was even going to be. Then the cops received a call that they had a homicide on their hands near Desert Inn Road and Eastern Avenue. They were told that there was a possible injured person on Golden Arrow Drive. They were in for a shocking surprise. There they found James, right there with the dead woman. They soon determined that James was both her lover and her killer. They took him in for questioning, but he refused to talk to the police. They booked him into the Clark County Detention Center on charges of open murder. This is another one, we'll just have to see where it goes. Now,
Well, I'll tell you one thing, with all that damn dumbass shit he got on his face, he sure looked like a fucking crazy ass murderer. Shot that lady 12 times, man. Rest in peace to her. And James, please, y'all, don't, government, please, if you're listening right now, do not give this man another opportunity. Lock him up, man, for life. Or give him the death penalty.
now we've got California shop owner shot dead over LGBTQ plus pride flag displayed at the store. Alright,
Wow.
time for a hellish comment section once again. This all started when a confrontation broke out about a pride flag being placed in a window display outside of a clothing store called Magpie in Cedar Glen, California. At this particular clothing store, a man entered into the shop and started making snarky remarks about the flag hanging in the window. He then started to cut down the flag while arguing with the store owner, Laura Ann Carlton. After yelling out a slew of slurs, he then took out a gun and shot Laura dead then and there. Then he ran off. This killer was a 27-year-old man named Travis Ikaguchi. After running away on foot, the sheriff's deputies soon found him running around about a few miles away from the scene of the crime. He was armed with a 9mm handgun, which he aimed at the police. He refused to drop the weapon despite being ordered to, and then he fired at them. Luckily, he missed and the police fired back, killing him on the spot. None of the
Wow.
police officers were injured. However, Laura was pronounced dead on the scene. The gun used in the crime wasn't even registered to Travis, and he wasn't licensed to concealed carry either. He had been reported missing by his family in the few days leading up to the crime, but he wasn't really on the police's radar, and they weren't taking it seriously. I mean, he was a 27-year-old man after all. Travis's social media activity was reviewed after the incident, with people finding that he made statements criticizing the LGBT community very often on Twitter, I'm not gonna call it X, and some app called Gab. In one post, Travis shared a photo of a burning rainbow flag and commented, "We need to stop compromising on this LGBT dictatorship and not let them take over our lives." He later added a caption saying, "Who else has the courage to post this and feel no shame of it?" Not only did he hate that community, he also posted a lot of content that revealed he held a lot of contentment for law enforcement as well. Laura, who her family calls Lori, is survived by her husband and 9 children. Here we've got...
Man, now that one right there just all the way effed up. He keep that, like, bro, why you care that she flying LGBTQ flag? Like, why? Like, I don't understand why people care what other people doing in their personal lives. If somebody want to be gay or lesbian or homosexual, bro, let them do them. I never understand why people care about that type of shit, man. You do you, let people do them at the end of the day. And that just because they are homosexual don't mean they deserve to be fucking shot down like a fucking animal at their own store. You a damn customer. Like, what the? That is crazy as hell, man. Rest in peace to Laura, y'all. Let's go.
Florida woman doused herself in Mountain Dew to erase DNA. So you can't really have imagined that I would stop at only one Florida man case. Well, actually, this one isn't a Florida man case, though. It's a Florida woman case, but we're very equal opportunity here on this channel. In Daytona Beach, Florida, a 35-year-old woman named Nicole Max went and killed her 79-year-old roommate, a man named Michael Carasoli. It seems that she stabbed him multiple times. A Daytona Beach police officer was flagged down by a witness reporting a house fire on Clark Street. Once the firefighters got there, they put out the fire and found a man lying motionless on the floor. Upon checking, they found out that he had died. They found signs of blunt force trauma to the back of his head and multiple stab wounds across his chest. He clearly hadn't died from the fire. Further inside the house, the police came across a bloody knife in the bedroom. They also found some blood on the wall next to the bedroom closet. They posted a bulletin listing Nicole as a person of interest in the case, being that she was the roommate and was nowhere to be found. At about
Hey, she looked crazy as hell too.
3:30 p.m. that same day, another police officer found Nicole at a restaurant in Holly Hill. She wasn't wearing shoes and appeared to still have blood on the side of one of her legs. It also
Wow.
appeared that a piece of her shirt had been torn off. That area of the shirt also had a little bit of blood spatter. Once the officer began to close in on her, she dropped both a knife and a hammer that she was concealing. They took her down to the station for some questioning. Once the police started questioning her, she told her version of the events. The problem is, her story changed multiple times between different interviews and different police officers. Nicole even denied knowing the victim at all, saying she didn't live in that home and that she was actually homeless. She denied having both the hammer and the knife, despite having been clearly seen dropping them both. Later on, she at least admitted to being the roommate, but she said that she hadn't been home or even seen the victim that day. Once it came to the knife and hammer, she eventually admitted to carrying those too, but she said that she had a habit of carrying those sorts of tools with her every day. When asked about the fire, she completely shut down and started to appear annoyed. At that point, she requested an attorney. The police took her out to the patrol car. This was when they revealed to her that they would be taking a DNA sample. Nicole panicked and asked the police for a drink. They had a Diet Mountain Dew on hand, so they gave that to her. She held on to the soda for a while but wasn't drinking it. Noticing this, the cop decided to take the can back. This was when Nicole opened the can and poured it all over her body and all over her hair. For some reason, she felt that this would ruin any sort of DNA test. When the cops tried to get her to stop throwing Mountain Dew all over their car, she started kicking them. They went ahead with the DNA test, and surprise surprise, it matched the DNA on the knife found at the scene. Nicole was
This bitch gotta be the dumbest bitch ever, man. You pour Mountain Dew on yourself thinking that's gonna get rid of DNA evidence? Like, boy, you just tried something then. You just tried your best to get out of this situation, but it ain't gonna happen, Calvin. You caught.
was thrown into Volusia County Jail on charges of first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and resisting arrest with violence. She has entered a plea of not guilty on all charges. Her attorney requested that a doctor examine her mental competence before she stands trial. She remains in jail without bond. Now we have United Airlines pilot charged in bizarre axe attack caught on video. Here's a really weird one that took place out at the Denver airport, which is known for its creepy statues and paintings that have led to all sorts of conspiracy theories. And I got corona there, so I have a vendetta against the place. In this case, a United Airlines pilot completely snapped. The man, Kenneth Henderson Jones, said that he, quote, just hit his breaking point. Kenneth was trying to leave the parking lot, but there were about 6 cars in line at each of the 3 gates. This parking lot has been said to have a lot of issues, as most people just don't bother to get the proper permits. Jones got pretty pissed at the line. The 63-year-old pilot whipped out a pretty big axe of all things and started chopping at one of those barriers at the gate of the parking area. He hit the gate about 20 times until he knocked it off the base, causing about $700 in damage. Unfortunately for him, it was all caught on video. An employee saw what happened and confronted Kenneth. This resulted in a small scuffle as he tried to take the axe away from him. Once a second employee came over and joined in, the pilot finally dropped the axe and surrendered.
This man that lost his goddamn mind. Talk about a bad day at work. Lord have mercy. He crashed out.
There was a struggle, nobody ended up actually being injured. Kenneth ended up being slapped with a charge of misdemeanor criminal mischief. Sooner or later, he's going to have to appear in the Adams County Court for an arraignment. Various news media outlets have attempted to contact Kenneth to get his side of the story to no avail. He hasn't responded to anyone. The communications manager for United Airlines has said he was removed from the schedule and is on leave while United conducts an internal investigation. He wouldn't provide any further messages. Kenneth has no prior arrest record in Colorado. And now, Denver will pay $300,000 to pilot who stood naked in front of airport hotel window. Denver Airport and United Airlines, you canceled my flight and made me sick. I'm not gonna let this go. I hate you. So here's another Denver airport story. So, one morning at the airport hotel out in Denver, another United Airlines pilot, a man named Andrew Collins, woke up and decided to throw open those curtains and enjoy the nice view from his 10th floor room. While completely naked, he walked around his hotel room and participated in some business calls. While walking around with his junk swinging in the wind, a witness called the police and said that a naked man was acting inappropriately. Andrew didn't feel that he was doing anything wrong by being naked in his own hotel room, saying, That didn't mean I was standing there doing any lewd behavior, I just had an expectation of privacy. He said that he's had to stay at over 2,000 hotels over the years and that all of them had at least tinted or mirrored windows, so he assumed that this one did too. Either way, he was arrested on charges of indecent exposure. His attorneys immediately asserted that the police had gone too far, noting that they didn't even have a warrant to break into his hotel room.
Wait. What y'all think, my brothers and sisters? Is he in the wrong for this? Like, if you at a hotel and you just walking around butt booty naked, you know what I'm saying? And you got the window open but you don't think nobody can see in. Should you go to jail for that? I don't think he should have went to jail for that. If he really didn't know that nobody could see through that window, I don't think he should go to jail for that, man. That ain't on him, man. I don't know.
They said a respected family man and outstanding veteran aviator, Captain Collins, was the victim of an unjustified and warrantless entry into his hotel room, followed by an arrest and days of miserable incarceration. Eventually, the case against Andrew was dismissed. However, all throughout the ongoing case, he was suspended from his job for over half a year. Wow. Given that this impacted his livelihood and, in turn, his entire family, the city of Denver agreed to pay him $300,000 in compensation. His attorney said that, while the city has paid for violating his constitutional rights, the hotel never did. They said the DIA West End needs to make changes to warn hotel guests that the interiors of its hotel rooms do not afford privacy but are in fact visible to unseen people far away in the Denver International Airport terminal. The DIA West End should take responsibility for its own behavior on September 20th, 2018 and take the appropriate steps to make sure that what happened to Captain Collins never happens to another customer. And
hey, I bet he'll take that little jail time for them $300,000. You know what I'm saying? Shit. And like I said, I don't think he really knew that the whole world can see him through that window naked. He thought he was in privacy then. You know what I'm saying? There is an expectation of privacy in private. So I don't know, y'all. It's crazy though. But let's watch the last one.
Now, frustrated pilot draws massive penis in sky after being diverted. Alright, so how about one more crazy airline-related story? In this one, a pilot left onlookers laughing as he pulled quite the crazy stunt. A Lufthansa pilot was heading to Sicily from Frankfurt in July until he was suddenly no longer allowed to land and diverted to Malta. Given this sudden change, he was forced to stay in the air for a little while and wait for an opportunity to land. What did he do? Well, he drew a big old phallus up in the sky with his motions. People looking at flight radar saw the shape and immediately broke out in hysterics. While some Italian reports have said that he did indeed draw this shape on purpose, other officials have told Euronews that it was merely just an accident. Just a bit of coincidence as he flew around in wait. People on Twitter love the shenanigans, with some people writing comments such as, "If I was on the plane, I would love to have a pilot like this," and "justified use of company property." Some even commented, "looks more like a Pink Panther face," which I guess, but I seriously doubt that was the intention. Funny thing is, this isn't even the first time a pilot has pulled something like this. Just last year, another aircraft near a Russian naval base in Syria also decided to dick around in the sky for a while. In that case as well, officials stated that it wasn't intentional, as unlikely as that seems. Once again, thank you for watching my video. Had a pretty good mix of horrific and weird today, so sorry for the tonal whiplash. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a like, as it really helps out in the algorithm.
Now, what y'all think about that last one, y'all? Y'all think that them pilots be doing that shit on purpose? Because I think they do. They know they drawing a damn penis, man. They know what they doing, man. And I will say some other stuff to illustrate why I really believe that, but I'm just, hey man, this YouTube. I don't want to get took down like Dial Trip got took down for a little while, y'all. But no, goddamn, I gotta watch out for that too. But no, man, this was a great entry back into the 8 in Bizarre, because like Dial Trip said at the end, it gave you a little bit of whiplash because it was all over the place. You had a lot of different type of craziness on this one, man. You had a lot of different murders, and you had a lot of different, like, just what the freak type going on. The first one was just gonna stand out to me more than anything. I would say Yeah, man, the first one stand out to me more than anything, y'all. Just that lady, she was only 18 years old, but I can't make no excuse for her, man. Put your baby in a trash compactor, bro. You know that baby about to get crushed. Like, come on, man. Like, that is. I have no words for it, my brothers and sisters. I have no words. All I can say is another great video from Dial Trip, and I'm happy he back. And I'm happy that y'all came on back, and I hope y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe, do all that. And come on back tomorrow on Halloween for Mike from that chapter. But until then, my friends, you know I gotta say this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.